we'll dive into ways to protect our knees and ankles with proper alignment. Let's begin. One of the common misalignments in yoga is hyperextension of the knees, or feet go out like duck walking, and that misaligns the ankles and the knees. In this short video, I'd like to share with you some ideas about how you can properly align the knees. So we'll start in a seated position, and I'm actually sitting on blocks. So I have a little elevation here, and it's easier for me. Maybe it'd be easier for you to get the proper alignment as if you're slightly elevated. Take your left hand to the calf muscle of the right leg and just hold on to the calf muscle. Now, as if you're lifting the muscle up toward the knees, so you have this nice elongation. So you're pulling the calf muscle up and pushing it in toward the shin bone. So have that action. That's the action that we'll be doing. Now do the same thing with the right hand. Grab hold of the calf muscle to the left leg. And once you have hold of that, lift it up and push it forward. You should feel a little spaciousness in the kneecap when you do those actions. So now let's try that with movement. As you grab hold of your right calf muscle, lift the muscle up toward the knee. Now lift your toes up, spread your toes. You should feel the outer shin area really get activated. And once you do that, just reach the leg forward. And same thing, just pull back and reach it forward again. If this is an awkward hold for you, take your right hand to the calf muscle, hold on tight, draw the calf muscle up and push the shin bone forward and do that same action. You're just reaching it forward and back. So you just work the action of the leg, just moving the heel on the floor. And if your heel's not sliding easily, maybe putting a washcloth under the heel will help. Let's go to the opposite leg as you work the left leg again. Either hand, grab hold of the calf muscle, pull the muscle up, and push the muscle forward toward the shin bone. As you lift your toes up, spread your toes so you really engage the leg nicely. And draw the leg forward and back. Keep that action. You should feel a lot of freedom in the kneecap as you do this, just get the feeling of what the action is like. Continue to draw forward and back. Let's come to a standing position now. And in that standing position, when the feet are weight bearing, you'll feel just a slight difference in the actions. So as you come to standing position, do the same thing. Place your hand, both hands now, behind your calf muscle. Get a hold of the calf muscle. Draw it up towards your knee and push it forward and come toward a straight leg. Now bend your knees again. Do that same thing. So it's a strong action of the arms as you grab hold of the muscle, pull it up and push it forward and lift your sit bones high. And one more time, bend your knees, grab the muscle, pull it up, push it forward, and lift your pelvis up. With your knees bent, place your hands to your low back and lift yourself up to a standing position. Now let's try that really quickly. in the standing poses. So as you turn your right toes out, the issue that many have is that we jam the knee back in these straight leg standing poses. That tends to hyperextend and aggravate the knee area. So with kind of a micro bend of the knee, draw your right hand down to the back of the calf muscle. And it's a little harder, a little bit more awkward from this position, but see about holding onto the calf muscle, pushing the calf muscle forward as you lift the calf muscle up to come toward a straight leg. You should have a lot more freedom in the leg. So don't try to jam the knee back. Just come to where it's comfortable. Place your right hand at the shin bone. Turn your heart up toward the sky. Reach your left arm up to the sky and just open up your pose nicely. And root down through the back foot to inhale and lift yourself up. Very good. And release your hands. Let's go to the opposite side. So as you turn your left toes out, hug the feet in, bend your knee, and grab hold of the calf muscle. Once you have a nice strong hold of the calf muscle, same action. You're lifting the muscle up, you're pushing it forward as you come toward a straight leg. As you come toward a straight leg, now you can take the head of your right arm bone back and lift your right arm up to come to a nice full triangle pose and root down through the back leg to rise up. Release your hands down. So that action took the shin bone forward to give you a little bit more space in the knee. Now, another action that you can work on to bring very healthy functioning of your knee joint, if you come back to sit down, in the same position. And again, you don't have to elevate yourself on blocks. I just feel like it gives me a little bit more freedom in the movement. So with your feet forward and hip distance apart, if you lift and spread your toes, you can feel these outer shin muscles really engage. This is called the peroneus muscle. And if you spread your toes, you keep that action, you can really feel how that muscle gets charged. So let's use that information as we do the following. As we work the shins in toward the midline, let's call the midline that space right between the legs here. As you pull your feet in toward the midline, the legs become activated. If you lift your right toes up and spread your right toes, again, you feel this outer shin area get really fired up. Keep that action. And with the left hand, take the left hand to the upper inner thigh area. And you're pushing out the inner thigh as you're pulling in the hand. So as you do that, it's kind of like an accordion action. The hands are drawing in toward each other with the left hand pushing the inner thigh out. The right hand is pushing the shin bone in as you draw the heels just slightly forward again, if you want to put the heel on a washcloth, that might work fine so that you can get this action. As you draw the heel forward, the inner thigh goes out, the shin bone hugs in. The toes are active. Let's do this a few more times. So you draw in and you reach out. And again, you draw the heel in to reach out, reach the foot out. And one more time, you draw in and extend out. So it has a sort of two for one benefit. It opens the hip nicely, it aligns the knee, actually, three things, and then it keeps the ankle strong. So let's go to the opposite side. Same thing. You're taking the right hand and moving the upper inner thigh out as you're pulling the shin bone in. And this action is called shins in, thighs out frequently. So as you lift your toes up, you pull the shin in, you push the thigh out as you extend the heel forward. So your left toes are active to really engage that outer shin muscle as you do the cycles of reaching out and pulling back in. And one more time, reach out and pull in. And these actions really help us in Sukhi Randrasana. And let's first start in a seated pose in this action. I'll just come to the side just so that you can see slightly better. As you take your right ankle to the outer knee, and for some of us, this is really challenging. So, taking your left foot out a little bit, the shin bone of the lifted right leg up as if again your hands are pushing the shin bone toward your heart and the thigh bone is moving away. So it really helps in this pose. And you can release. And let's try the opposite side. And again, I'll just turn so that you can get a slightly different view here. As you take your left ankle to the outer right knee, spread the toes of the lifted foot, and you're trying to draw the shin bone, the left shin bone, up toward your heart as you take the upper inner thigh of the left leg away. And you just allow this nice action to refine your pose. And now you can really feel it getting into the area of the hips. Again, if this doesn't feel right for you, with your knee bent, you can always just take your leg into a straighter position, but you're still doing that same action. Shins in, thighs out, thighs away from your heart. And release out of that pose. And let's come down to lie on your back now. So as you lie on your back, let's do that same pose, Sukhi Randrasana. With your knees bent, place your right ankle to the outer left leg. Keep your left foot pressing down. You're as if you could, maybe you can just lift your ankle just slightly off the knee so that you get that idea of shins coming in, thighs moving out. Lift your left foot up and you can interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. And you're still working that action. Shins in, thighs out. Release the foot down and come to the opposite side. So as you take your left ankle to the outer right knee, same thing, shins pulling in, inner thighs moving away. Now, as you lift your thigh up and interlace your fingers behind the thigh, keep that strong action. Keep a nice openness to your heart. And slowly release out of the pose. Those are a few tips to get you moving in your both your standing pose and supine poses, and we do these poses all the time. So how useful it is to get the alignment of the knee and the engagement of the shin bones, this outer shin bone muscle, the soleus muscle, to have access to refining the alignment in all of these poses really helps our practice. Thanks so much for this short workshop like video where we focus on these refinements. Namaste.